Doctor's Full Guide, the silent killer on your breakfast plate. Let me tell you a story, one I wish I never had to repeat. A man in his early 40s walked into my clinic last month. Fit-looking, worked a desk job, no major complaints, just mild fatigue, some bloating, occasional chest tightness. His vitals? Borderline. Blood pressure elevated. Lipid profile? Alarming. Liver enzymes? Off the charts. But what really struck me was when I asked him about his diet, with a smile he said, "Doc, I keep it simple. Coffee, eggs, and Jimmy Jean sausage every morning. Never missed a day in 15 years. And that, my friend, is where the story truly begins. Jimmy Jean pork sausage may seem harmless, savory, satisfying, even nostalgic, but beneath its golden brown exterior lies a chemical cocktail engineered not for your health, but for shelf life and flavor addiction. It's packed with saturated fats that clog your arteries, sodium levels so high they could quietly nudge your heart into crisis over the years. And worst of all, sodium nitrite, a preservative that, when heated and digested, forms nitrosamines. These compounds have a direct and proven link to colorectal cancer. Now imagine consuming that every single day. The real danger isn't in one bite. It's in the ritual, the habit, the comfort. Every sizzle in the pan is a whisper of risk. Every swallow is a slow, unseen gamble. And the scariest part? You won't feel it until it's too late. Studies show that eating just 50 grams of processed meat daily, that's less than one sausage, can increase your cancer risk by 18%. Add to that the strain on your heart, your kidneys, and your blood pressure, and suddenly that innocent breakfast becomes a long-term health gamble. You wouldn't knowingly eat poison, but many do, disguised as breakfast. So, here's your wake-up call. You don't need to quit flavor, you need to quit this flavor. Swap it for nitrate-free turkey sausage, try plant-based options, or simply start fresh with food that fuels, not fools. Before your next breakfast turns into your body's silent betrayal, listen to the warning signs. Your body already is. Doctor's Full Guide, deflated that bites back. There are dangers in life you can see coming. A speeding car, a raging fire, the edge of a cliff. But the most dangerous threats? The ones that whisper, not scream. The ones that hide behind comfort and taste. And in my years as a physician, I've come to recognize one of the stealthiest among them. The smoked sausage sitting innocently on your breakfast plate. Hillshire Farms smoked sausage. Its aroma is familiar, nostalgic even. The smoky scent, the snap of the casing, the burst of flavor. It feels harmless, feels homemade. But behind the marketing and mouth-watering smell lies a chemical time bomb. And if you knew what it was doing inside your body, you might think twice before heeding the next link. Packed with saturated fats, this sausage feeds your cravings while quietly choking your arteries. Every bite sends a message to your blood vessels: clog, harden, weaken. Over time, your heart struggles harder to pump, your blood pressure rises, and all the while you feel normal. Until one day you don't. But the real threat goes even deeper. The preservatives, especially sodium nitrite, are used to give that signature pink color and long shelf life. What they don't tell you is this: when these nitrates enter your body and interact with the high heat of cooking and your digestive system, they can form nitrosamines, known carcinogens, and one of the clearest links, colorectal cancer. Every year I see patients, young, old, seemingly healthy, walk in with symptoms they didn't expect: abdominal pain, unexplained weight loss, fatigue. And when we dig deeper, we find the same patterns: diets, high in processed meats, low in fiber, and full of foods like this. The common denominator? A false sense of security, built on years of eating what seemed normal. Let's be clear, one bite won't kill you, but daily indulgence becomes a daily dose of slow harm. And because it doesn't hurt right away, because it's convenient, Because it tastes good, that's what makes it so dangerous. Hillshire Farm's smoked sausage may promise tradition and flavor, but what it delivers to your body is something far less comforting: inflammation, arterial damage, and cancer risk. This isn't fear-mongering, it's medical fact. So what can you do? You can choose smarter. Look for nitrate-free options. Choose lean proteins, grilled chicken, fish, or even plant-based sausages. Read labels. Watch the sodium. Understand that convenience today should not cost you decades tomorrow. I'm not here to shame your breakfast. I'm here to save your mornings from becoming medical emergencies, because what you savor today could quietly shape your health tomorrow. And by the time you realize it, the damage may already be done. Doctor's Full Guide, a Can of Consequences. In my practice, I've learned that not all dangers wear warning labels. Some arrive in familiar packaging, sitting quietly on pantry shelves, waiting to be cracked open with a flick of the wrist. One of the most deceptive? Armour Vienna sausage. A tiny can with a taste that hides a ticking clock. You see, these sausages are more than just salty little snacks. They're soft, savory, and shelf-stable, which makes them wildly appealing to families on a budget, college students, or anyone craving convenience. But the very things that make them last long on store shelves are the same things that make them dangerous inside your body. Let me break it down. Armour Vienna sausages are heavily processed, meaning they're made from low-grade meats reconstituted into something edible using chemical preservatives, binders, and flavor enhancers. One of the most alarming ingredients? Sodium nitrite, a substance used to preserve color and extend shelf life. But when sodium nitrite enters your system, especially after cooking, it can transform into nitrosamines, which are strongly linked to colon and stomach cancers. And that's just the beginning. Each tiny can is loaded with saturated fats and sky-high sodium levels, often exceeding 600-800 Gs of salt in just one serving. That's nearly half the daily limit for a healthy adult. And it's just from a few bite-sized pieces. Over time, this creates the perfect storm: increased blood pressure, hardened arteries, kidney overload, and a heart that slowly weakens under the weight of what seems like just a snack. You may not feel it after one meal. That's the trap. Armour Vienna sausages don't knock on the door of your health with urgency. They creep in slowly. They seduce with ease, flavor, and affordability, then settle into a routine that chips away at your body's defenses. I've seen patients who relied on these as staples, struggling with hypertension in their 30s, early-stage kidney failure by 40, and digestive cancers before 50, and they always say the same thing, but they were just sausages. No, they were processed time bombs. So here's what I advise. Rethink your pantry. Choose lean, fresh proteins. Look for low-sodium, nitrate-free alternatives, or go plant-based when you can. If you need convenience, prep meals in batches instead of reaching for chemically preserved meats. What you spend in a few extra minutes could save you years of vitality, even your life. Remember, Armour Vienna sausage may come in a small can, but the consequences it carries are anything but small. The real cost isn't on the price tag. It's the silent damage that builds with every bite. Don't let the flavor of today rob you of your health tomorrow. Doctor's Full Guide, the can that whispers danger. It sits on your shelf, quiet and unassuming, wrapped in its familiar blue label. Maybe it reminds you of childhood lunches, late-night meals, or even wartime resilience. But what if I told you that inside that can of Spam, yes, that salty, savory block of meat, lurks a danger so subtle it can chip away at your life one silent slice at a time. I've treated countless patients who grew up with Spam. For them, it wasn't just food, it was survival. But nostalgia is no defense against biology. What the body sees in Spam is not comfort, it's chemical overload. Spam is made from highly processed pork, salt, sugar, and sodium nitrite, a preservative that helps it last for years without refrigeration. But when sodium nitrite is exposed to heat and digestion, it can form nitrosamines, which are known carcinogens, the kind linked to stomach and colorectal cancer. Every time you fry it, microwave it, or pan-sear it, you may be unknowingly activating a toxic transformation inside your meal. And then there's the sodium, often over 750 milligrams per serving. That's nearly 1/3 of your recommended daily limit packed into a tiny, tasty slab. Over time, that daily salt barrage begins to do its work. High blood pressure creeps in, forcing your heart to strain harder. The kidneys, our body's natural filtration system, begin to weaken under the pressure. Chronic kidney disease, once rare in younger adults, is now becoming frighteningly common, and spam is part of that story. What's more, spam is rich in saturated fats, the type that raises bad LDL cholesterol and clogs your arteries, slowly, silently, until the first warning comes not as a symptom, but as a heart attack. The danger isn't in the occasional bite, it's in the pattern, the habit, the comfort that turns into a quiet dependence. You feel full, satisfied, perhaps even emotionally soothed, but beneath the surface, your body is fighting a war it never volunteered for. I remember a patient, 52, lean, non-smoker, active, but he had a spam sandwich almost daily for 2 decades. He came in with shortness of breath. A week later, he was in the cardiac ICU, recovering from a near-fatal heart event. His scans showed early-stage kidney dysfunction too. When I told him the likely trigger, his face went pale. "You mean spam did this?" "Yes. Slowly but surely." Here's the truth. Spam was engineered for survival, not longevity. It was designed to feed soldiers and store shelves, not nourish hearts and protect organs. We're living in a time where food technology has evolved, but many of us are still clinging to the past, at the cost of our health. So what can you do? Choose fresh over shelf-stable. Opt for lean meats like grilled chicken, turkey, or plant-based alternatives. If convenience is key, look for low-sodium, nitrate-free options. You don't have to give up flavor, you just have to give up the ingredients that slowly take everything else away. Because every time you open that blue can, you may not just be feeding yourself, you may be feeding a future full of doctor visits, medication, and regret. Don't wait until your body starts screaming. Listen now, while it's still whispering.